You know, it feels just like yesterday, Crown Zenith was released and no one cared because it wasn't worth anything. Fast forward 2.5 years and 16 sets later, and we just finished up the Scarlet and Violet era. With the last set being released, I decided it's time to rank every Pokemon set in the Scarlet and Violet era, but using a tier list. I'm going to be ranking each set based off of these 5 criteria points: card value and collectability, fun factor, artwork and aesthetic appeal, assumed printing, and gradability. I won't spoil the categories here. You can see them for yourself here in a few. I think you're gonna get a kick out of them. You know, after doing this, I have some interesting takes and overall thoughts about this era that I'm gonna be sharing at the end of this video after the list is made, including how I think this era stacks up against Sword and Shield. Guys, if you're feeling froggy, feel free to rank the sets down below, or you can even make your own list and post it in my Discord. All links for that will be in the description below. Alright, here we go. This is our tier list. We are going to start out. I'm gonna show you the categories. Alright, we have Certified Banger, right? That is top tier. Best of class. Those are the best ones, right? Those are fun. They're just all around the best, dude. You can pull some really good cards. The artwork is phenomenal. The pull rates are good. It is a really solid set. Then you have Always a Good Time, which to me is like just having, you know, a good time. It's fun, you know what I mean? Drunk 3 a.m. Waffle House type stuff, you know what I mean? Then you have the Guilty Pleasure, all right? We don't want to admit to it, but we kind of like these, okay? And, you know, there's a few of these sets in this era where, you know, it might not feel good to admit it, but you like opening them. And then we have good old Sandpaper Dildo. And you might be thinking, Zach, that is a weird category, but let me explain. If you think about it, on the premise, it sounds like a good time outside of that one little caveat there. And it's made from sandpaper. 80 grit, 120 grit, I'm not really sure. You can have a good time, but man, it's more like a Saw type of movie, you know what I mean? It's a Saw experience. It's not very pleasant, but at the same time, you're doing it. Then you got Grower, Not a Shower. And that's one on the surface doesn't look like much, but once you start peeling those layers back like an onion, you can see where it's going. You can see the potential that's there. Then of course we have good old Dog Water. Gotta bring back the fan favorite, baby. So that's what we're doing today. We'll be ranking these. I thought it'd be a fun way to do it. The categories are stupid and silly. Feel free to make your own. I think I said that in the intro. If I didn't, definitely check it out. I'll have the link in the description for this tier list and the Discord. Just go ahead and pop in there, drop it in there, and let's see what you guys got. Have fun with it, have a good time, but also listen up, because I mean, as goofy as these categories are, they kind of sum up the Scarlet and Violet era. All right, so we do have them in order: the Scarlet and Violet base, Paldea Evolved, Obsidian Flames, blah 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 blah. We got all that, right? So Scarlet and Violet base for me is always a good time. I mean, I never not have a good time opening this set. The pull rates are phenomenal. It was printed into Oblivion, which could hurt it a little bit, but really it was printed early. You know what I mean? Like early on it was printed into Oblivion, and I feel like a lot of it either got ripped now, like eventually, like people just started ripping it because they had it, or it got ripped early on. I do think this set is really good. I think it's by far the best base set we've had in a long time, really, to be honest. It's better than Sword and Shield. It's better than Sun and Moon base. You could argue maybe Sun and Moon just because of Umbreon and stuff, but I don't know. I think this is the best one. Definitely better than X and Y base. It's always a good time. If you got little kids, if you're a grown adult degen, you'll have a good time opening this set no matter what. And then we have Paldea Evolved. And this is one of the ones that I feel like is the most divisive between degens, if that makes sense. Like, I think some people might put this set in dog water, but for me, dude, even though I have a love-hate relationship with this set, I'm putting it in Certified Banger, and let me explain why. If you've been around the channel, you know that I literally opened up so much Paldea Evolved, I just stopped opening it because I was trying to master it pulling, and it was awful. It was horrible. I didn't open the set for like 6 months. But I've always acknowledged this set's fantastic. The IRs are phenomenal. Say what you want about the SIRs. I know that they're probably not worth a lot of money, but just the pure artwork of them are fantastic. They're really good. The pull rates are good on this set. It's just hard to pull Pacific cards, but a lot of that is due to it just being so many. This is a certified banger. You will always have fun. You have the potential to pull a big boy with either the, you know, obviously the Magikarp, the T-Tar, the Sleepy Raichu, which I think is, no pun intended here, is slept on. Paldea Evolved, certified banger. All right, it's a good time all night long, baby. Next up, we have Obsidian Flames, and this one, while it is fun, I will say this thing for sure to me is a grower, not a shower. and it is fun to open. The pull rates are ridiculous because this is like early on, obviously the first 3 sets. It's SIR in every booster box, so it's phenomenal, right? Super fun to open. The problem is where the artworks are pretty good, it just doesn't do that for me. You know what I mean? I need it to grow a little bit. Just on its surface, it's just not a lot there. I know it's a Flame Lizard set, and everybody thought it was going to be, you know, the best thing ever. They tried to do a Dark Charizard, but they didn't really call it a Dark Charizard because it was racist. So whatever the case may be, I do think it's a good set. It's just, it needs, you know, we need a little bit more on it. And of course we have Scarlet and Violet 151, which is, I mean, we all know where this one's going. This is a certified banger. Honestly, this is the cream of the crop. I could probably make its own tier, really, because I think this and another set are the 2 best sets in the entire era, in my opinion. I think this is the best by far. Just it's a special set. Obviously, that carries more weight. It's the original 151. This thing is investable. It's investable. You can open it and have a good time. The products are phenomenal. The hit rates are really good. This is just 100% a good set. There's really nothing I can say bad about it. Besides, I just stuttered there. I'm gonna leave that in because we're gonna raw dog you here. All right, I'm gonna leave that in. I'm not gonna take it out, so you can make fun of me if you want to in the comments. Besides all that, we gotta talk about it. 151 is being printed a lot, which I don't care, but it is a factor that, hey, there's a lot out there, which is a good thing. I think it's a good thing. I'm not saying it's a bad thing. I think it's a good thing. I know for, you know, the Lambo bros is probably a bad thing, but for me, I think it's a fantastic thing. But it is something to think about that there is a lot out there. At one time, I remember this stuff being on shelves everywhere. Nobody wanted to touch it with a 10-foot pole, not because it wasn't good. Maybe they just wasn't, I don't know, it just didn't, how can I say this? I don't want to say peer pressure, but just the motivation wasn't there maybe. But obviously 151, certified banger. To me, top spot in the era, best special set we've had since Crown Zenith, and even with, I love Black Bolt and White Flare, we'll talk about that in a little bit. But I think 151 is the second best set that we've had in a long time outside of Crown Zenith. So this one here is gonna be a hot take, because I see you on TikTok. Everyone talks shit about Paradox. I think Paradox is actually always a good time. And a lot of people's gonna be like, dude, hit rates are terrible. For me, hit rates have never been bad on Paradox Rift. I've always had a great time opening it. The Groudon, the SIRs, they're all really good. Has it been printed a lot? In collection boxes and stuff, maybe, but I don't know. I really don't feel like Paradox Rift was printed that much. It wasn't very wanted in the beginning. A lot, like the beginning of Scarlet and Violet, no one really wanted it until value was attached to it. But I've always liked this set. I've said that this set was the best set ever released in November. I don't think I stand by that no more. I don't know, I might. I'm trying to think. No, Surgeon Sparks. Yeah, no, this ain't better than Surgeon Sparks. But it is a really good set. I think Paradox Rift was burdened by being the set after 151. I mean, short of something like Destined Rivals or Surging coming out right after 151, nothing was ever gonna, you know, follow up 151. So I think Paradox Rift gets a bad rap because of the timing. It's actually a really good set, dude. Next up, we have Paldean Fates, and you guys know, if you've been around for a while, you know I love Paldean Fates. If you watch one of my most recent videos, I think this is the #1 set you should be buying right now. But I'll be the first to admit that this thing is a guilty pleasure. It's a guilty pleasure because outside of the 3 SIRs, it kind of sucks. I mean, the pull rates are okay. There's so many baby shinies, but unless you care about baby shinies, it doesn't really matter because the odds of pulling the Pikachu, the Charmander, you know, the Charmeleon, the Lucario, the Riolu, all those big bangers, the Snorlax, it's just really hard to do. So the pull rates are kind of, they're bad, but they're good at the same time, if that makes sense. Like, you're gonna pull a bunch of baby shinies, you're just not gonna pull a bunch of baby shinies that you want. You know what I mean? And then the SIRs though are phenomenal. The Bubble Mew is on the rise again. The shiny Zard is fantastic. Even the shiny Gardevoir, as much slack as Gardevoir gets, it is a fantastic card. I love this set, and I still stand by with it being printed the amount that it has been, because it's the least printed shiny set we've ever seen, and it's not even close. I still stand by this as one of the #1 sets you should be buying. As far as opening and just overall, yeah. I mean, this is definitely an acquired taste. And up next, we have Temporal Forces. You guys remember when this set was like just blowing up like crazy because the Ghastly was like $600 in a tin or something like that? It is a fantastic set. PSA prices are phenomenal. The problem is though, pull rates are kind of ass. You know, while you can have a good time with this, it is going to feel like a sandpaper dildo is inside of you. On to Twilight Masquerade, which up until that point had my favorite card of the entire era outside of the Bubble Mew. It was the Greninja, okay? And this is kind of where things, you know, people might not want to admit it, but this is kind of where things started to change. This was the early signs that things were changing, right? I love this set. It is phenomenal, okay? Again, top cards, great. Problem is, pour rates are dreadful. And in that case, it is like having a sandpaper dildo inside of you. Up next, we have Shrouded Fable, and I know what you're thinking, Zach. We know you. This is the set you open the least amount of. You've talked how much you hate this set. I will say, I think hate's a strong word. Looking on the surface of this thing, it's ass. But if you peel it back a little bit, it's kind of like a BBL ass though. You know what I mean? Like it's kind of got that butt lift. You know it's fake, you know it's a fugazi, but it's sort of the same. You know, I mean, you got some really good cards in here just to be, you know, all the way serious. The Persian, the Horsey, even the SIRs. I know it's goofy. I mean, I can't get down with Pheasant-Dippity and Whipsy-Dippity and Whoopsie-Doopsie and all this other stuff, but the cards are nice. The IRs where this thing stands out with the Death Snow and all that. You gotta kind of peel things back because on the surface, this set is kind of ass, but I'm gonna be honest with you, I don't think it's dog water because I think pull rates, where they can be tricky, I don't think they're the equivalent of a sandpaper dildo, but I do think you gotta grow a little bit and then show me something. Up next, we have Stellar Crown. And up until this point in the era, Stellar Crown is by far, at this point, my favorite regular set of the era. I know what you're thinking. Zach, Stellar Crown's ass. It's the Squirtle and everything else. I don't think so. The Bulbasaur's fantastic. The Squirtle's fantastic, obviously. But that freaking Terapagos is fire. I don't care what anybody says. Terapagos is still one of my favorite cards in the entire era. I know it's worth like 45 bucks. I'm buying these things up as much as I can. I think I have like 10 at this point. I love this set. I love opening this set. I can't put it always a good time because, yes, once you get past the top 3 or 4, the set is kind of ass, but I do love opening it, so it is one of my guilty pleasures, kind of like a hot wax type deal. And up next, we have Surging Sparks, a set where I tried to pre-sell at $3.75 a pack and nobody wanted it, but like 3 people, imagine that. Then it came out, released, what do you know? The set went to the fucking moon. But hey, you know, it's all good. Surging Sparks was a good time. We had a great time opening. I've opened quite a bit of Surging Sparks. We've pulled some Pikas, some Latias. I don't think we've pulled, what's the one we haven't pulled? The Melodic. I think that's the one we haven't pulled yet, is the Melodic. We've opened a lot of Surging Sparks, haven't pulled that one yet. This set is fire. It's hard to tell if it's been printed a lot or not printed a lot because I think it just gets gobbled up immediately. So that one's kind of up in the air. The pull rates are really good on this set. It's really fun to open. The Pikachu ETB. Everything about this set has got certified banger written all over it, baby. There we go. We got 3 of them. Look at that. And up next, we have everyone's favorite set of all time, Prismatic Evolutions. The Lisa Frank set of Pokemon. I almost said Lisa Ann again, which would probably go good with our tier list, but you know, that's for another story. It's not fun to open Prismatic. But I look at it, I hate to say a lottery ticket, but I guess it kind of is a lottery ticket because, you know, you buy a pack for 10 bucks and pull a $900 card. But then it's like, well, you can say that with every set, so I don't want to just put Prismatic. But to me, Prismatic is like, it's a heavy hitter set. It kind of feels like a One Piece set in the way, like, for me, because I'm not a huge One Piece fan. When I open One Piece, there's only one thing on my mind, and that's to pull a manga, okay? That is the only thing in my mind. It's kind of the same thing with Prismatic. Like, the only thing on my mind in Prismatic is SIR Evolution. Or God Pack, right? That's the thing. You got God Packs in this thing. The Master Balls, which I think are still super undervalued, at least for like the evolutions. I think this set, on paper, fantastic. You know, I went on a little bit of a gripe the other day. It needs IRs for sure, and Black Bolt and White Flare kind of pissed me off because it shows that they could have done a set with Master Balls and Pokeballs and IRs. If they do that in Prismatic, just put the Chinese evolution IRs in Prismatic Evolutions. Holy sweet Jesus. I mean, this set goes from being a sandpaper dildo to, for sure, probably the best set in the era if they put IRs in there. I mean, honestly, I mean, it's that much of a difference. It goes from one of the worst experiences you could ever have, but it's still at the same time, you kind of get a little bit of fun into, I mean, like I said, it would be in a tier by itself if it has IRs. So I think Pokemon pisses me off with this one. Next up on the list is Journey Together. This is the set that everybody was so hyped about. We're getting trainer Pokemon back and all that, and everyone hates it because it's small and the pour rates are good and it's relatively cheap. For me, I get it. I think Journey Together was printed quite a bit more than we kind of realized. I think they're going to print more as well. It just gets gobbled up because it's fun. I mean, Journey Together is just fun to open. You know what I mean? I wouldn't pay $8 a pack for Journey Together. $8, $9, $7. I mean, I'd like to keep it in the, you know, $5 to $5.50. But I have a good time opening Journey Together. You know what I mean? So for me, Journey Together is for sure a guilty pleasure. It's not the best, it's not the worst, but it's good. Here we go, baby. Up next, we have Destined Rivals, which up front, I will tell you, outside of 151, Destined Rivals is my favorite set in this era. I will put Destined Rivals up against almost any set from the X and Y era and Sword and Shield, just on a pure artwork, fun, and everything standpoint. That's how much I love Destined Rivals. This set is phenomenal. And it looks like the printing is pretty decent. Like, they're not printing a whole lot, but they're printing enough. Like, I see Destined Rivals quite a bit. I'm pretty hyped about this set, man. I love this set. I want to open more. I haven't wanted to master a set in Pokemon since 151, and Destined Rivals, I kind of want to master it. There's a few cards from here that I really want. Again, outside of a hand-selected few, there's not a lot I really like. I have to have this. In Destined Rivals, the top 4 I all want. So they're really good. Really good. I love this set. It's fantastic. It's a no-brainer. Certified banger. Is the second best set in the era, the best non-special set for sure. And here we go. So we have no dog water, and we have the last set, which is Black Bolt and White Flare. And you're gonna probably assume this. There's not gonna be a dog water set in this era, and I'm gonna talk about this here in a minute because I think that is a big deal. I think people shit on this era, but I think it's a lot better than what we're gonna give it credit for. This is like a sleeper era. This is gonna be like it honestly kind of feels like the Sun and Moon era in a way, because like Sun and Moon kind of got shit on, and the Sword and Shield gets, you know, all their Golden Dildo awards, but this one's pretty good. So we got Black Bolt and White Flare, and so while this one, to me, we've only had it for a week, but you can get a really good grasp on things. We don't know how the printing is going to be, but it looks like it's going to be pretty healthy. It's a special set, a double special set. This thing's going to get printed a lot. It's not going to be an issue there. But I will say, just the sheer amount of hits with the IRs, Pokeballs, Master Balls, the SIRs, obviously all the artworks are fantastic. I can't put this in certified banger yet because I don't think we've experienced it enough. But this thing is going to, right off the rip, start out always a good time. And there's not one point where I was opening this set where I didn't feel like, okay, this is fun. Because the God Pack, you know, obviously you can get God Packs. You can get the black, white rares with the Victini, Reshiram, and Zekrom. Then you can get the SIRs, the IRs. I mean, it's got hits for days. It is a really fun set. It has that Crown Zenith feeling. I think the cards in Crown Zenith are better, but this one has the potential. If you like these Pokemon, you're going to like this more in Crown Zenith. I think the problem is the era. Like, if you replace this era with, say, Gen 3, and it was, say it was Ruby, Red Ruby and Blue Sapphire instead of Black Bolt and White Flare, I think this set is ridiculous. You know what I mean? So I think a lot of it has to do with the era, but it's still fun. Just from opening, it is a good time. I really like it. And there we have it. That is your tier list. Make sure you make your own. I want to see y'all's. But this is, I mean, this was pretty good to me. This is my feelings. I think 151 at the top, tippy top, then Destined Rivals, and then everything else is up for debate, I think. So I've kind of hinted at it throughout the video that, you know, I think this set is really, or this era as a whole is really good. I know a lot of people didn't like it in the beginning. I've loved it all the way through. This set, there's not a bad set in this era. If you look at Sword and Shield, the first 3 sets are absolute ass. There's a few in there, even past that, are just garbage. You have really top-heavy at Sword and Shield, obviously, and I would take, you know, Evolving Skies is obviously a cream of the crop. Crown Zenith is, you know, top tier, one of the best sets of all time. I mean, so you have that, but I think that what Scarlet and Violet has that Sword and Shield doesn't, and even Team Up or Sun and Moon and X and Y, is there's no bad set. Like, there's no bad. Everything is good. You know what I mean? Which is, I think, is really interesting, and I think it could go a long way. I love open. There's not a set in this era that I would not open on a regular basis, and I really do mean that. So make sure you guys make your own list. I'd love to see your opinion on it. Let me know down below. If you don't feel like making a list, just comment down below whatever you want. I'll see you guys in the next one. Thank you guys so much. PokeFactory out. Peace!